Have you ever found yourself saying yes when you really wanted to say no? Or maybe you've bent over backward to make someone happy, only to feel drained and resentful afterwards? If this sounds familiar, you might be struggling with people-pleasing. But don't worry, you're not alone, and today we're going to dive into how to break free from this pattern. We're exploring the wisdom of Dr. Gabor Maté to understand why we become people-pleasers and, more importantly, how to stop.
A child is in absolute need for what we call attachment. Attachment being the drive to be close to somebody so we can be taken care of.
Dr. Maté is talking about our fundamental need for attachment as children. As kids, we're too vulnerable and unable to take care of ourselves, so we have a fundamental need to be taken care of by our parents or somebody close to us. In this way, we unconsciously develop an attachment to those people and do whatever we need to do in order to get this care. And we're like little sponges, soaking up everything around us. So we learn quickly what behaviors get us love and attention and which ones don't. We also realize that sometimes being our true selves doesn't seem to cut it, so we start to shapeshift into what we think others want us to be so that we continue getting the care we need. Let's illustrate this through Serenity. Growing up, her parents had a no negative emotions policy. Whenever she was angry or sad, she was sent to her room until she calmed down. Over time, Serenity learned to hide her true feelings to keep her parents' approval.
If you feel your feelings, you're going to be disattached. When you no longer feel your feelings, you can come back and talk to me.
Ouch! That's exactly what happened to Serenity. She learned that her authentic emotions weren't welcome, so she suppressed them to maintain attachment. Fast forward to adult Serenity, and she's still doing this dance, afraid to show her authentic self for fear of rejection. Now, let's talk about how we can break free from this pattern. Dr. Maté gives us some fantastic insights.
Well, the good news is that the self that you abandoned all those years ago, not deliberately, not consciously, and it was never your fault. But what happens is that that self that you disconnected from, which is the essence of trauma, is the disconnection from yourself, that never went away. It's still there, and it's talking to you. And it's talking to you through your body, and it's talking to you through your emotions. So it's a matter of learning how to pay attention.
This is huge. That authentic part of you that you tucked away, it's still there, trying to communicate through your emotions and bodily sensations. Let's look at Blaze's experience. Blaze always said yes to extra work projects even when she was drowning in deadlines, but she started noticing a knot in her stomach every time she agreed to take on more. This was her body's way of saying, "Hey, this isn't what you really want." To reconnect with your authentic self, start paying attention to your body's signals. When faced with a decision, pause and check in with yourself. Ask, is this what I truly want, or am I doing this to please someone else?
So you lose the attachment. And you have a decision to make. What would you rather have? Who would you rather have in your life? Them or yourself?
This is where it gets real. Setting boundaries and saying no can feel scarier than skydiving without a parachute, especially if you're worried about losing relationships. But remember, true connections survive honest communication. Our friend Caesar struggled with this for a long time. He always feared saying no would lead to catastrophe. But he started small, declining invitations to events he wasn't interested in. To his surprise, the world didn't end. His real friends respected his choices, and he felt more authentic in his relationships. This step can be tough, but it's crucial. As we become more authentic, some relationships may change or even end. But here's the kicker. That's actually okay. Remember Serenity? When she started asserting her needs, some friends drifted away. But then she noticed something interesting. New, more supportive relationships began to form. She realized that the people who truly cared about her appreciated her authenticity. Now let's talk about self-compassion. As you work on overcoming people-pleasing, it's essential to be kind to yourself. Think about it. Would you berate a friend who's learning to ride a bike for falling off? Of course not. So why do we often treat ourselves so harshly? Blaze used to beat herself up every time she slipped back into people-pleasing habits, but she learned to talk to herself with kindness, saying things like, "It's okay, you're learning. Every step forward is progress."
Because the pain of not being yourself is too much.
Dr. Maté hits the nail on the head here. The pain of not being yourself can manifest in various ways: depression, anxiety, and even physical illness. That's why it's so important to identify and challenge the negative beliefs that fuel our people-pleasing behaviors. Caesar believed that if he wasn't constantly helpful, people wouldn't like him. It was like he had an inner voice constantly whispering, "If you're not useful, you're worthless." With help, he started to challenge this belief. He realized his worth wasn't dependent on how much he did for others. The final step is to practice authenticity in daily life. It's not about making drastic changes overnight, but rather taking small steps towards being more genuine every day. Serenity started small, expressing her genuine opinions in low-stakes situations, like choosing a restaurant with friends. As she got more comfortable, she extended this authenticity to bigger areas of her life. Remember, breaking free from people-pleasing isn't a solo journey. It's okay to ask for help along the way. This could mean talking to a trusted friend, joining a support group, or working with a therapist.
And you have a decision to make. What would you rather have? Who would you rather have in your life? Them or yourself? That's the decision you're going to have to make sometime.
And there you have it, beautiful souls. We've explored the wisdom of Dr. Gabor Maté and how it applies to breaking free from people-pleasing. Remember, this is a journey, not a destination. Be patient with yourself, celebrate your progress, and know that with each authentic choice, you're reclaiming your true self. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more content on personal growth and self-discovery. And if you feel like sharing, let us know your thoughts and experiences. Your story might just inspire someone else on their journey. Until next time, you don't need to twist yourself into a pretzel to be lovable. You're already amazing, quirks and all. Take care, embrace your authentic self, and I'll see you in the next video.